Hello, it's John Soriano again, and I want to take a few minutes to speak to you briefly about the self-image and certain manifestations of challenges with low self-image. Now, I guess a good place to start would be, what is the self-image? And the self-image, in reality, is the sum total of the thought patterns you have about yourself in relation to the world, in relation to certain circumstances, what have you. So, that being the case, the writing on your walls, as Gary Craig used to describe it, contributes to the overall development of your self-image. Now, a low self-image can manifest itself in a variety of ways, whether at work or in school or in relationships, what have you. Relationships are actually areas that are excellent mirrors of the level of your self-image. In relationships where communication isn't that great, or where there's emotional abuse or even physical abuse, there's a lot of self-image issues in those relationships as well. At work, if you're not progressing as much as you want, in academics, having difficulty with subject material, even anger issues are manifestations of a low self-image, especially anger turned inward kind of things, because the sum total of the sum total of our thoughts, again, creates our self-image. Now, the key is to start looking at where these thoughts come from. Or, again, as Gary Craig would describe it, where did the handwriting on the walls come from? Now, when you're younger, it makes sense. It's easy to identify. It comes from parents and teachers, primarily, as well as peers as you're getting older. But parents and teachers primarily, because these are the authority figures. And whatever they say when you're young, you take that as truth. I mean, these are older people. They're supposed to know what they're talking about. So you start accepting that. And then as you get a little bit older, peers say things and you accept it. Now, there's the golden key right there. If you're an adult watching this video right now, you need to get that key concept. You have accepted those ideas about yourself from others as true, and you've owned them. So when we use tools like EFT, for example, or ZPoint, or Neuro-Linguistic programming, we can erase those thought patterns. We can shake the belief in those thought patterns. We can shake and loosen and free the energy that's tied up in those thought patterns. Because the truth of the matter is, if you have a low self-image about yourself, and I'm talking the overall arching self-image, we all have individual smaller self-images, if you will, for different circumstances and different environments. And you might be good at some things and not others. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the overall arching self-image. If that's low, if that's negative, you need to understand that that's a lie, because there is nothing low or negative about you and who you are. So these are the areas where I use EFT and ZPoint and Neuro-Linguistic programming to get rid of those notions, if you will, that there's something wrong with you, and that there's a reason that you're negative, there's a reason that this is all being created. So as you shake those negative beliefs about yourself, the self-image changes, and it strengthens, and it turns positive. See, the key, another key, is that we don't have to create a good self-image. The good self-image is already there. What we need to do is clear out the garbage so we can get to it, if that makes sense. So using EFT and ZPoint and Neuro-Linguistic programming in this regard, even Reiki, really, in these regards, we start to chop away at the negative aspects, shedding light on them and showing what they really are, which are lies. And as that's done, then we get to the point where you see who you really and truly are. And when you really see that, when you really see the true self-image, there's really no stopping it. So I just wanted to share those few thoughts with you about the self-image. There'll be more of these short videos coming. And to share how I use some of the tools. And some videos that'll be coming, I'll actually get into some tapping sequences or ZPoint protocol usages or some NLP techniques that we can use for it as well. But just know that if you remember nothing else from this video, that if you have a negative or low self-image, that's a lie. And take comfort in that. And know that the true self-image, your true self, is maybe only a tap away. This is John Soriano, and I'll talk to you next time.